Let us move on to the first unit, Communicative English, Unit 1, Write Professional Emails in English. 1.1 will be dealing with how to draft an email, and 1.2 basic professional email structures. So both the subunits will be covered in this particular discussion. First of all, let us discuss what an email is. Email or in full electronic mail. The message is transmitted and received by digital computers through a network. So, an email system allows computer users on a network to send text, graphics, sounds, and animated images to other users. Now, let us discuss what an index is. Email is used to communicate in many settings. So, effective use of email requires a proper understanding of writing, because writing is always a clear statement of conveying your message across. To explore how to use email effectively, we need to understand how to have a proper introduction, how to use it, what is a diagram, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages. So in this particular subunit, we will be discussing all these usual whatever is required to understand what an email is. So basically, what we need to have good access on the email is a computer with internet access, the Wi-Fi connection or the hotspot, whatever you use, it has to be strong. So whenever you are facing an interview or being a part of the any discussion, it is of extreme importance that you need to be placed in an area where you have good network connection. Then you need an email account with a service provided. It could be Yahoo, it could be Gmail, it could be Hotmail, anything is fine, but you need to have an email account. And you need to understand that Microsoft Outlook and Apple Mail are not email providers. That is the only reason why they cannot email from library computers without an account. Choosing an email provider. So the most common email providers are Hotmail, that's Microsoft, Gmail, that is with Google, and Yahoo Mail, that's with Yahoo. So we will be discussing all these things in detail in this particular session. How to set up your account. There are different parts of an email address. So you need to have a proper username and domain for this purpose. So for example, snoopy@yahoo.com. The username is Snoopy and you can create your own, which is unique. At symbol, that is unique to all the email addresses. So shift key +2 will help you type the at symbol. And the email provider's name, as we discussed, it could be Gmail, it could be Hotmail, it could be Yahoo. That is the email provider's name. And domain is the .com. That is, in others it should be .net or .org. So usually when you have an email, for example, if it is snoopy@gmail.com, Snoopy is the username, at is the symbol that is unique to all email addresses, Yahoo is the email provider's name, and .com is the domain. Next is how to create a password. Generating a password is the most important part. Usually it should be something that others cannot guess. So turn sync on in Chrome. And point number 2, you can go to a website and sign up for an account. Tap on the password text box. You see a text box. There you need to type in your password. The tab suggests that you go for a strong password. If you don't see this option, you can just type your password. You will see a preview of the password. Use that password. And do not use sensitive information. Do not use your bank PIN codes. Do not use the date of birth. So these are the common things that can be easily connected and easily recognized or identified or traced by others. So the verification questions also will help you forget your in case you forget your password, the verification questions will help you. For example, who is your first teacher, which is your place of residence, something like that will definitely help you. So usually a combination of letters or numbers is always the best while creating a password. Now let's set up our accounts. If it is yahoo.com, click on create new account. Be sure to have the username and password ready. Keep in mind whatever we discussed in the previous slide, how to create a password, and fill in as many blanks as required. When you are finished with filling up, you can create new account. Now let's start composing an email. Click on new and always keep the email address ready for the person to receive your email. Let's discuss the parts of an email. First one is that is to enter the exact email address of your recipient. Remember, it should be name@provider.domain. For multiple recipients, separate each address with a comma. And we have the option of CC and BCC. CC is carbon copy, BCC is blind carbon copy, that is anonymous. And the subject is very important. The topic, the content of the mail should be written as a phrase in the subject box. Here are some tips on how to write a perfect email. Let's discuss the 4 essential parts of an email. The first one is the subject line. That is the most important component of the email. The subject line is the deciding factor in whether your message is read or deleted. Additionally, using a spam tagline or a lot of characters can send it straight to the junk box. So the subject line needs to be truthful and informative and tempt the reader into wanting to know more about the content. In that case, strive to retain an air of mystery but always remain truthful, and it is always better to avoid terms like urgent, immediate attention please. Such phrases could be avoided in the subject line. Next is the salutation. The start of the email sets the tone for the main body. So, in the opening words, the reader is making a judgment about you and what you want and whether they will continue to read. Seeming too formal or impersonal or conversely unprofessional can cast a negative impression. So, if you know the person's name, address him or her personally. If not, use hi rather or hello rather than to whom it may concern. The latter is stuffy and formal. In business and especially in PR, you need to build relationships. So, sounding friendly but professional is always a good approach. The bit in the middle. Long emails are a massive turn off to anyone, especially to journalists who receive dozens or even hundreds of unsolicited emails a day. Even if the recipient opens your email, a page long essay will probably inspire him or her to close out of it. No one has the time or the interest to read your life story. So keep your messages as short and concise as possible and deliver information in a digestible way. Your purpose for writing needs to be clear and presented in a way that will appeal and relate to the recipient. Now, the conclusion or the ending. Assuming the recipient sticks with your email to the end, the way you sign off is as important as the way you start. End your email by making clear what you would like the reader to do, but don't do it in a commanding way. Phrases such as, I look forward to hearing from you. Please let me know your thoughts. Invite a response and make it clear that you would like to hear from them. But they are also casual enough to sound not threatening. Sign off with many thanks or kind regards or something similar and your name including your first name. Rapport building isn't achieved with Mr. or Mrs. or Miss. Now, while sending an email, communication can be tough with written correspondence. Nobody's language or facial cues help them set the tone properly. So it can be easily understood. So punctuations, spelling, greeting and closing signature, all these are very important. Always spell check and proofread. Now, how to write an email? So, when you are sending an email, click on your Android phone or tablet and open the Gmail app. At the bottom right, there is something called Compose. In the to field, you can add, as we discussed, the CC or BCC. Add a subject, write your message. At the top of the page, you see Send. Check your sent box now after sending. Choose your inbox for your BCC. Drafts. Draft emails. When creating an email, the computer will automatically save your work periodically. If for any reason you should be interrupted, you can retrieve your latest work in the draft box. When you receive an email, there could be many messages that would have come to your mail. So if you have any messages, you should see them listed on your inbox. It would be marked in bold. At the top of each message is a header with information about the sender, date, and routing of each message. So the needed information, if it is an email that you are expecting, you can open it. How to reply to an email? There are two kinds of replying. It is either replying directly to the person if it is a group mail, or you can reply all. So when you click on reply, your message will automatically be sent to the person who sent you the mail. From the field, you can see who has sent the mail. But when you click on reply all, your message will be automatically sent and read and received and read by all the people to whom the mail had been sent. Forwarding an email. When you click on forward, you may share the email you have received by sending it to others. So you may add your own message before sending. Enter the to's and CC's as wherever required and click on send. Opening attachment. Usually photos or documents are attached. If you don't know the sender, do not open the attachment because it could be a spam, it could be virus. And save versus open the attachment file dialog box. That's very important. Either you can save the attachment or you can just open the attachment. Another part is deleting the email. Once you have read an email, you should decide if you want to save the file or delete it. If you are deleting it, it will go to the it will go to the trash bin or the delete folder. You can retrieve it from the trash folder within 30 days. The message disappears from your list of messages, but it is not truly deleted. So when you go back to the trash and check, you will be able to retrieve your message. Once you exit the program, the messages are usually deleted for good. Let us discuss privacy, viruses, and spam. Never ever open attachments that you receive from unknown sender. And if there is any financial information that is requested, you should never share any of your financial details. And sometimes you get in the spam unsolicited commercial emails. Click on report spam. Either you can delete the spam or you can report the spam. Next is chatting. This has been one of the oldest techniques of chatting through the email. This is real-time communication without no delay. So the moment you click on send, the other person, the receiver, receives it. So be selective. Who do you chat with? As with spam and phishing, scams can occur with chatting as well. So try to avoid unfamiliar chatting. Signing off. Always be sure to log out of your account before shutting down. Especially if you are using someone else's system, it is mandatory to shut down and sign off. Now, These are the parts that we discussed: the style or the email form, that is the email address, subject, salutation, font, paragraph spacing, and signature. And when you are writing the email, your writing style, the tone and punctuation, enumeration and attachments, you should be very careful, because once it is sent within nowadays there is a news technique where you can undo the send message, but again that is for a very limited time. So the writing style, because you are not visible to the person in real, so it's very important how you write, how you use the language, and what are the attachments you are sending along with the mail. Reply promptly to serious messages. You don't delay messages. If you need more than 24 hours, send a short response saying it will be addressed sooner. But never leave a message unattended, unreplied. There are four types of email. One is no reply email. Next is inquiry email. Third is open-ended email. And the fourth is the action email. So in no reply email, you would like to tell the receiver something. It could be a piece of information, it could be a compliment, it could be some news, but it is not necessary that you expect a reply. In the inquiry email, you need something from the receiver in a reply. For example, it could be an advice, it could be a question. It is then that you can use that, looking forward to listening, hearing from you. Open-ended email, that is to keep communication lines open for the purpose of some future result. Action email, the goal is not the reply but some action on the part of the receiver. For example, a product needs to be returned, or a product needs to be exchanged. It is such kind of emails fall under action email. Confidentiality, the most important thing is your emails are not private. So never send confidential or sensitive or potentially embarrassing information via email. And while sending the email to several people through the CC or BCC, remember that their addresses are visible in the CC box, and use the blind copy to merge functions to protect the privacy of your contacts. So greeting and salutation, how we address this was discussed in one of the previous slides. And Miss or Mrs. or Mr. or whoever concerned, they leave a gap between the sender and the receiver. This we had discussed a little in one of the slides. So always open your email with a greeting. For formal or business emails, you can use the surname. That is regarding the greeting or the salutation. Next is the opening. We always begin with a line of thanks. Always open with a kind of positivity. Thank you for contacting Tanza Company is one of the best things that you can just use while starting an email. If someone had replied to your email, you can begin with thank you for your prompt reply. The purpose is very important. Why you are writing is of utmost importance. Don't write a long introduction. The body, when you are writing the body, be brief but polite. Always use the terms please and thank you. Always write about one thing in your mail. Don't overwhelm the target receiver with so many multiple things. Stick on to one subject. Always keep it professional. Never resort to any jokes or emotion or abbreviations, and never use capitals in the mails. And always have a professional closing. This was discussed in one of the slides earlier. Ending an email professionally is as important as the rest of the message. The final tip is check and check again before you hit the send button. Once it goes from the system, it cannot be corrected. So edit and proofread at the beginning and always go for reviewing and spell check, because it is the mail that speaks for you, not you in person. Finally, reply promptly to serious messages and don't delay more than 24 hours. And some replies are delayed by some technical or electronic transmission, but at that time you need to explain the delay. Check all your emails just before you leave your work. With this, we come to an end of the session. The link is attached herewith. You can have a look at the link, you can download, and you can watch the sways attached. With this, we have come to an end of this introductory section. Kindly watch all the videos embedded in the MS Way. Complete the self-assessment by 11:30 hours. So for this particular unit, you don't have any quizzes or anything concerned, because this was just an introductory session where you are exposed to the course Communicative English. If you have any questions, you can post it in the discussion form, and the link is available in the student portal. The answers to your questions will be available in the program FAQs repository link. Happy learning. Have a great day and stay safe.